There, that should fix it. That should fix it, see? Still work in progress. But the quality and of the audio should be greatly improved now, because my biggest issue was the audio sucked and I couldn't figure out why. It's because stupid me, I'm so technologically illiterate that I didn't consider that the microphone it was picking up by default was the webcam and not the beautifully expensive Blue Yeti that I have plugged in. So I was going through the motions without even doing it correctly. But hopefully this sounds better now. I guess I'll know after the VOD, when the VOD's posted, unless someone actually joins and says the audio sounds better. But regardless, based on my understanding of it now, this should have fixed it. So let's hope for the best. Okay, let's do a time walking. I don't play my hunter very often, but I think time walking is a good way to 8 days. Damn. Time walking is a good way to sort of get back in the mix, I think. And hunters are chill anyways. I always found hunters as like sort of like, I don't want to say a meme class. They are sort of a meme class, but in the sense of like it's mindless, it's fun. Some classes or specs require a lot more cognitive ability than hunters do. Hunters are sort of plug and play, mindless fun. It's like playing Pokemon, and that's why I like hunters, I guess. It seems a lot more chill versus like, especially like Affliction or Demonology maybe seems a little bit more intense. Feral, like Feral's fun. It's like one of my favorite specs to play, but you certainly have to like Affliction. You're constantly watching your timers. You're trying to I don't remember the name of it, but when something procs and it will increase the damage of your rip, you reapply it because it'll do more than the rip that's currently on the target. I believe that's still a thing. There's a term for it. I don't remember what it is, but if you cast a 5-point rip and then Tiger Fury comes back up because an enemy dies and it resets, you could then pop the Tiger Fury and reapply rip, and it should do more damage. And little things like that kind of management on top of just managing the dots themselves, add a layer of nuance that I don't think really hunters have to deal with, especially like Beast Mastery hunters. And by the way, I was in a time walking. Was it a time walking or a mythic? I think it was a time walking on my warlock, who's like pretty geared. I think like 460 or something, which is way overkill for time walking. And there was a hunter in there who was in like Raid Finder or less gear, and she was pumping like it's crazy. She was Beast Mastery, and you would expect, just based on item level alone, she shouldn't be competitive with my character, considering she was like 20 or more item levels below. But whatever I don't know if it's scaling related to time walking. I don't know if Beast Mastery is just out of control right now, but it was unbelievable to see. Like the damage she was pulling was insane, consistently. Like close to me when I was popping all my like 3-minute cooldowns, she was doing the entire time. It was nuts. I remember running these during challenge modes, and that was like the first iteration of Mythic Plus, before Mythic Plus really was a thing. And I don't know, it has a fond place in my heart, these dungeons. So that's why whenever it comes around, I try to run it on as many characters as possible. Besides the fact that it's good XP, it's just nostalgic, I suppose, which is weird to say because this expansion came out like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 years after the whole game came out. So you'd think like vanilla would be nostalgic, but I guess this has been out for so long already. Mists of Pandaria, compared to Dragonflight, that it too now feels nostalgic. Legion's even starting to feel nostalgic. I don't know what the threshold is for when you can say things are nostalgic, but if it feels long enough away that you have fond memories of it, I think it fits the category of nostalgia. Who knows? It's that Yeti outfit is so silly. Hey, I love this thing. It's fun. It's reshape. Look at that. I love how it makes you raid bosses. This is Oculus, maybe? I don't remember which boss this is. Or maybe Sunwell? I don't know. If anyone in chat knows, you can let me know. You know, it's one of them. What I always found so fascinating about hunters is even as early as vanilla, specifically Beast Mastery, it feels so fluid. the gameplay always felt so fluid, which I think a lot of other classes lack to a degree. I mean, it's certainly gotten better in recent expansions. Almost every class feels a lot more fluid now. But hunters have just always had that fluidity, and I don't know why that is, but I think that's why it's such a popular class. Like, and maybe that's why people say it's so easy, because it had that fluidity of rotation. Not to mention, like, they're probably the best solo class in game. Although, maybe an unpopular opinion, but I would argue I think Warlocks are even a little bit better. Especially like a Destruction Warlock. Probably better than any other class for soloing with a pet, because if it's still this way, the Chaos Bolts shield your pet and heal you so much that it's like an infinite health pool, it feels like. But I haven't played Destruction in almost the entire expansion. Near the end of Shadowlands, I fell in love with Demonology, especially because of the Torghast. It was fun to have like 300 plus demons. And I just never sort of went back, so that's why I don't really play Destruction. But I used to play Destruction like religiously. That's all I played was Destruction, and then I think in Legion I switched to Affliction because it was just so OP, that Affliction weapon you had, and I got quite good at it. Did the Mage Tower, got the cool weapon, and that's another reason why I wanted to play Affliction, because the weapon was like a rite of passage. But then I don't know, I just tried Demonology and fell in love with it. It was fun. But I think what really got me into Destruction at the beginning was during Mists of Pandaria, the Green Fire quest came out. And the Green Fire wouldn't show on any class except for Destruction. So I worked so hard to get that Green Fire, which was pretty neat. It was tough at the time, but I needed to play Destruction just to show off that Green Fire because it looked so cool. And I sort of stuck. It was fun to play for a while, and it pumped like crazy in Mists of Pandaria. Destruction was out of control. It was so broken in Mists of Pandaria. So it just sort of felt like a comfort pick, and then the rest is history, I suppose. Yesterday we I was playing with some friends, and we were trying to teach people the dungeon, and we got Scholomance, and I kept pulling aggro. I was playing a Fury Warrior, and I couldn't figure out why I kept pulling aggro. I'm not that geared, I wasn't taunting, I didn't understand, and then I realized our tank is in Windwalker spec. And I don't know if the tank realized they were in Windwalker spec, but I've asked them about halfway through, can you switch to tank spec, or do you want me to switch to tank spec? And they did it, and they didn't say anything the whole dungeon. And then at the end, they said, oh, I didn't realize I queued for tank, which I thought was strange, but whatever. Are we jumping? We're not jumping. Always dismiss your pet if you jump, but okay, we're jumping. Okay. Always dismiss the pet. People do not dismiss the pets. Sure, let's jump. Go, go, go. Disengage, take no damage. And watch, this is what happens every time. People stack the healer on top of, not the healer, they stack the shield on top of this guy. Except this tank, because he's brilliant. And by not stacking him on the healer, you can quickly nuke the healer if the other DPS focused, and he won't have the damage reduction, but instead they're just attacking everybody else. So no one's gonna interrupt that heal except for me, but I don't know if my interrupt will be up next time. Maybe it will, but I won't be able to do it a third time, so they better... Oh, yeah, that was close. Oh, good job. I don't know what that was all about. Because he would have AoE healed it, I'm pretty sure. Let's go. What's fun about time walking as well is they're like really fast. This monk keeps throwing me off because it's Windwalker, but she has a Brewmaster weapon. I'm not sure what the tank's doing. Just hesitant or something. I was happy to see Murder of Crows is back. I thought they got rid of it, or it was... Maybe you had to sacrifice it for another talent or something. I don't remember, but I like Murder of Crows, especially in dungeons like this, where they're like things die really fast. It's just fun to like spam murder crows from add to add to add. Looks cool. Oh, got a vault. Forgot about that. Another neat thing about hunters is just thematically their abilities are pretty in line with the class fantasy, which is good design. I'm really visual, like with a lot of the stuff I do. I don't really care about clout in the sense of like, look how great I am, look how cool this mount is. I just like it because I like it. It has nothing to do with like other people's perception of it. So I'm drawn to what looks cool, whether it's good or not, and like class fantasy stuff like that. So it's a different experience for me, maybe compared to most min-maxers. This ability is Chakra, Death Chakram, I think it's called. It's a really cool ability. I only picked it up when I was trying to do the Mage Tower on this character, and I love it. It's awesome for AoE. Not that anything lasts very long here, but it looks cool. After this, maybe we'll play the Demon Hunter. Who, again, like, these are characters I haven't touched in a while, but I thought Time Walking would be a good time to sort of jump back into it with them. Now I wonder, I feel like this guy's not going to pull them back to the door. Not this guy, but the boss. And I mean, it just seems, I know there's less room to move around, but I still think it's easier. I mean, I've done it every time, both as DPS and tank, and I still think it's easier to avoid the mechanics if all you really have to avoid are like slams versus the whole damn room, which is just like looks like a Saw movie. Just knives flying and flames, and his staff is on fire and slams, and it's insane. Everything in here wants to kill you slowly. Here we go. The weapons, it's just nuts, dude. That was fast. Holy moly, that was fast. Speed run in this place. Well, I always forget to hand this in every week. I should quickly do that. I wonder if it's a toy or is it still a trinket? That's something that ports you to Timeless Isle, but I think it's a trinket, so I don't have it on this character. Darn. Does this guy want to queue again, or what's the deal? I'll queue with him if he's ready, if he wants to. Guess not. Guess we didn't do a good enough job for him. We queue again. May as well, while we're waiting, check out the vault, see what we got. I can't imagine what's in here. Maybe I ran a Mythic, maybe, last week, for Mythic Week. I definitely didn't run 4, because I didn't finish the quest. Look at, whoa, so we must have done a Mythic. 450 or 415, so it doesn't even replace anything anyways, because even though that's a 4 set, or 3 set rather, I still don't lose anything. I could just turn that into tier, but I don't know if the tier that I have right now is, that maybe the previous, expansion's tier, not expansion, but raids tier, so it may not even work. Those shoulders are very hunter, very cool. 416 to 418, 2 item levels for one piece of armor is not bad. Alright, how long's the queue, I wonder? 7 minutes, wow, alright, guess it gives us time to go to the Timeless Isles in the meantime. Oh, actually, oh man, it's nice to be able to dragon ride in the older zones. I don't use it very often because I don't love it, but in this case, because a lot of the places in Pandaria, for example, like the Isle of Giants or the Timeless Isle, it's so far away, and you could fly there, but it takes like half an expansion to get there. Because they're so far away, when you're dragon riding, you can sort of shoot right past that fatigue zone, and you can sort of close the gap, and almost when it kicks you out of the sky, because you're going with such height, such a speed, you could almost fall on the island, and if you're a hunter or something, or a druid, you could flap, you can disengage, stuff like that. Sort of saves you a little bit of time. That's probably just my ADD brain, though. Just being like, I cannot get there fast enough. That's probably what it is. It doesn't matter how fast anything is. Like we could always go faster. We can always go faster. Or I could multitask while I'm doing this. Like, it's just awful. It's a constant effort to not do something else while I'm flying. And you could, but I feel like it's just a habit of that for a lifetime cannot be good for the brain or for your concentration and stuff. So I try my best to be like, just be mindful. You're playing this game. It's not a chore to play the game. So why do you have to look at something else while you're like flying? You can't wait like the 30 seconds and just be present. I don't know. It's cool though to see it. It's so see the whole island like that. I wonder when it's gonna kick you off. Let's see if we can, how far we can get. I've never actually done this before. Can we make it? Can we make it? Can we make it? I think we can. Holy crap. Holy shit, man. That is insane. Well, this is somewhere we'd never be able to get normally, I don't think. No, there is a way to get up here. I lied. How do you get up here normally? Because you could tame these guys up here. Oh, I think there's a quest where you grab these guys or something and you fly or something like that. Because I remember being up here before in Mists of Pandaria. But I don't remember how. Alright, let's disengage down. Let's make sure we don't hit anything. Whoops, that may hurt a little bit more than I would have liked. We're okay. Whew. It's a neat looking bird. I always wanted to tame those snakes. I don't understand why Blizzard doesn't let you, tame all the animals they put in the game. It's strange, but the animation's already there. Like, you have to fight them anyway, so I don't get it, but at least we won't forget this time, because we're here now. This guy's got 4,000, but I think I have everything, so I think I really get with this, Yeah, so. Another year, another no Valentine's Day mount, which is just painful. It's so painful that just everybody and their mother got it this year, suppose. It seems like, I mean, I actually know someone that ran it on 30 characters every single day, and the day before I think it ended, they ended up getting it on one of their characters. So, like, they're like, well, we increased the drop rate. And it's like, okay, so you increased it from 0.1 to 0. Even if you did it to 1%, it still stinks. Like, it's a 1% drop rate or 0.1 drop rate. I know statistically is much larger. 1% is much larger than 0.1. But from a player experience, it's the same damn thing. It's without seeing the numbers on paper, it's an insignificant change. I don't know. It feels bad, man. I would just love some bad luck protection is my point, I guess. I think it would put a better taste in everyone's mouth to have a little bit of bad luck protection. Because I know there's purists that say, well, I had to get it when it was low, and it was, it felt rewarding to get it. I don't care about that. That Michigas. The rewarding stuff, I don't really care. I just want to have fun. I guess I'm always in the minority in that regard, where I never really cared much about having a sense of accomplishment as much as just like having fun with my friends. I get sense of accomplishment from other things that are not related to luck. Like, it's weird to have a sense of accomplishment related to things that are just chance. But that's why maybe gambling's not for me. I know a lot of people gamble and they win money and they feel proud, like, look what I did, I won all this money. But it's like, I mean, it's just dumb luck, right? Versus if you try something, you fail and you fail and you keep trying and you get better, that makes sense to have a sense of accomplishment, because you were at the start of that, you were struggling, but through perseverance and determination and grit, you were able to overcome that feat. And that's worth noting because that's a transferable skill for the rest of life. You could, next time you encounter something difficult, you could say, remember that last time I couldn't even ride a bike, and now I can ride it without training wheels. So that's anything in life. It's good for your own mental capacity when challenging yourself to know that there's always a starting point where you can't even stand on your own two legs, but eventually you get proficient at anything with enough time. But it doesn't feel the same to me when it's like luck. When you just run a dungeon, like, oh, it dropped me today. I don't know. Like I guess what I'm saying is, and I'll stop. The highs are not that high compared to how low the lows are. And that's, I think, gambling in a nutshell. I think gambling, whether it's for mounts or in the casino, when you lose, it feels really bad. When you win, it's like, well, it's about time I deserved it. Like, it doesn't even feel good. It just feels like, it almost just, I don't know, it just feels like a miserable experience all around. That's why I've never been interested in a chance or stuff like that. When I got the Shaw mount, which was a couple months ago, I was happy to get it, but at the same time, I'm like, it's about damn time. Like, I've been farming it for years, and like, it's crazy. When I went after the Mage Tower mount, it took me maybe a couple weeks, and a lot of failure, going on Discords, learning, speaking to people, making friends along the way, learning about professions, learning about different classes that I never played before, like a Resto Shaman, learned about Survival Hunters, learned how to play Frost DK, and that was fun because I could see every time I would do it, I would wipe, I would see where I'm getting better, I would start understanding what the moves did, and every time I'd wipe, it's like, it's on me. I deserve it. I didn't do it this time. I deserve it because I need to focus better. I'm not concentrating enough. I'm getting too distracted. I'm getting too in my head. So then when you do it, you're like, wow, remember when we were afraid to even try it? Now we finished it, and I just, you carry that with you. Even though it's just a game, doesn't matter. Anything in life is like that. So remember when we were struggling on this, and then you got better at it, and then it wasn't so scary. And I think that there's a lot of merit there. The same thing, like I used to skateboard. I still skateboard, but you struggle, you fail, you can't do a kickflip, and you feel like you'll never be able to do a kickflip. But if you keep trying, things start clicking in the brain, because the brain's very good at optimizing. And if you're going to do something repeatedly, continuously, I think it takes a certain psycho to never try to improve. I think eventually the brain starts finding shortcuts or ways to optimize just by default, without you even trying to look for it. I think the brain just makes connections through experience. And whether it's a game, whether it's skateboarding, I think just having the knowledge and the skill that you're more capable than you give yourself credit for, if you put your mind to it, is hugely important, especially for like developing children. That's why when games get a bad rap, I think games are hugely influential, positively influential in a child's development, because it teaches them through perseverance and determination, you can overcome obstacles. But maybe I'm just ranting. But that's what today's episode is about, right? I always played games as a kid, and I always found it so incredibly rewarding to get to a point where you're very proficient in them, because you always remember, like when you're learning, like Elden Ring, which I played recently, was a good example of that. I've never played a FromSoft game before, and I wanted to because it looked so beautiful, but it was so overwhelming. The stats were overwhelming, the abilities, I never understood how dodging worked, but eventually it started clicking, and I actually started enjoying it. At first I didn't even enjoy it, but I wanted to see the world, so I just stuck it out, and I'm glad I did, because it was the best experience, one of the best gaming experiences of my life. And I'm so excited for the trailer. I know it came out today. I haven't seen it yet, but I've been following it very closely. I love Elden Ring because besides the fact that the game itself was fun, the lore I thought was brilliantly creative. There she is. I think once in a while a game like that comes out and it just blows everything else out of the water because it's just so unbelievably unique. I wonder if demon hunters can. I don't think she's a demon though. I thought there was a way to find which one was the fake one very quickly, but I don't remember what class can do that. Maybe it is a hunter. Maybe with flare. I don't know. Something that I'm painfully self-conscious about, only because I'm still so new to this, is like generally I have verbal diarrhea, if you can't tell, and I don't shut up. But I wonder if is it too much? Is it too annoying to people listening? Like, should I tone down the the ADHD mind? Because this just seems natural to just keep talking, but and this is what I do when I'm by myself, more or less, anyways. But I don't know. I'm sure at some point, you know, as it grows, maybe someone will be like, "Yeah, it's too much," or "No, it's great." It's amazing that with all the pets in this game, I still love the... Where is he? Oh, not this one, but Rakshiri, I think it's called, from Winter Spring. It's the green cat. Not green, it's like teal and white, I guess. It looks like this, but not translucent. And I just love him because I always wanted it when I played vanilla when I was a very young kid. And he was hard to get back when I played Alliance. Because he was quite a rare spawn. But I finally did get it, and again, it felt very accomplished, because after days of farming it and leveling to get to the level to even tame it, it was exciting to get. So now when I play Hunters, even in Dragonflight, I still tame Rakshiri, just because he holds a place in my heart, I guess. those teal and white pixels hold a place in my heart. Crazy how fast things are dying. Same with the last one we ran. Crazy fast. I wonder if people will watch this and be like, this guy does not know what he's doing on a hunter. And you'd probably be right. Well, if nothing else, at least I'm a little bit more confident that the sound quality should be much better, because it's not picking it up from the webcam. It's picking it up from this mic now, so hopefully that helps. Whoa. We ended up doing this dungeon yesterday, and with that Windwalker tank, who didn't know he was Windwalker. And I said, be careful in the next room, just because it can get hectic very quickly. And as I said that, the Windwalker by accident pulled the entire room. And the healer we were with was an absolute animal, because she was able to heal us and we survived, but man, was that sketchy. This group, that wouldn't be a problem. This group is crushing it, but the last group, we were playing with a few friends that were playing WoW more or less for the first time. They were learning the ropes, and we were trying to take it a little bit slower just so they could figure it out. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's a part of figuring it out, is sometimes shit hits the fan and you gotta react quick and try to survive, and we did a good job. We survived. I have a friend actually that's coming back, hopefully in a week or two, and last time I played with him, he insisted that we run Mythics, and we kept pushing the key, and we ended up taking it to an 8. And I love tanking, but I don't really tank Mythics, just because I'm like afraid I'm gonna screw it up, and I'm gonna waste people's keys, waste people's time. But he's like, no, we'll do it. He was like stupid geared. And we did it, and we ended up pushing to an 8. And he said again, next time I come back, we'll try to push it even more. And I mean, I'm willing to do it, but it's a little bit sketchy. I mean, but I think we can. I just think that I need to just get comfortable with higher keys. Not that even like I think the mechanics are too hard. It's all in my head. It just, you know, the higher you go, it just seems, it just gets scarier, I guess, because people have higher expectations, I suppose. I guess that's what it is. Now let's see if the Q goes off first or we make it to... You know what? Ooh, we can't even get off the mount because the thing is... Normally there's a button here that you can say land at the nearest flight path, but I don't see it. That's strange. What if we... Nope, not there. Okay, I'm sure there's a command for it, but I don't know what that is. That's all right. What if it's related to an add-on? Is that what's blocking it? Nope. All right. Maybe it's not in Pandaria. I thought it was all the. I thought it was all the flight paths, but maybe I'm mistaken. I'm just gonna quickly open the walkout. Oh man. Oh, looks like it was about to pop, but someone declined maybe? Darn, we're gonna have to go through a long flight. Look, we're at about the halfway mark. I should have used my dragon riding, honestly. You know, there's a whole bunch of other pets that I have not even attempted to tame on this hunter yet. I think from this expansion, and some like secret pets and stuff. And that's also really neat that they keep adding these pets that are not just pets you tame, but pets that require like special things to do. I think there's a cat in Dragonflight now that I see some people with, and I haven't figured out how to get it yet. But maybe that'd be something that's cool. There it is. Thank goodness. Now you guys don't have to see me flying the whole way. This is a bad stream. Flying the whole way there must be boring. Oh man, this one's tough. I mean, it's easy in here, but the breaths from the Shaw guys, that really hurts. Ooh, pet's gone. So, how you say it? Nahak, however you say it. This guy was always on my bucket list, so I'm grateful that I was able to tame him because he's like the coolest pet in game as far as spirit beasts go. And man, he was tough. Especially during Lich King, like good luck. He was the most sought after pet, and with the spawn time of whatever it was, like 6 or 7 hours or more maybe, people were just farming this guy around the clock. Fun. We switch. It's the Shaw mount. I love it. I never really realized you actually throw the thing at him like that. There's an animation for that. I just guess I wasn't paying attention before. And I'm standing and stuff. There you go. Good job, boys. You know, I've never tanked on a warrior. I've tried arms, and it felt okay. I love the fluidity of Fury. I don't play warriors that often, but I just wanted to try warrior, and I enjoyed Fury. But tanking looks like fun. I mean, I was always confused with, not just confused, but like sort of sketched out by not being self-sufficient, and I didn't know if warriors had a self-heal, but I think all tanks have self-heals now. But when I played my druid, I liked that you always had frenzied regeneration, which was a self-heal. And you also had a proc where you could cast rejuvenation to heal yourself. That was nice. But I didn't think warriors had that, or paladins necessarily. But I know Death Knights have Heart Strike or something, but I think they all have it now, which is nice. Like Demon Hunters are a good example, where there's a lot of oh shit buttons. If you feel like you're dying, you can pop mitigation, or specifically like Eye Beam or whatever it's called. It heals you, which is nice because you're not entirely dependent on the healer, at least in the sense of if you feel sketched out and heal's not coming in fast enough, you have these backup buttons you can press to keep yourself up and pad your health while the healer tries to get everything under control. Not that I don't trust healers, but I actually have more respect for healers than tanks even, just because I think healing's the toughest job. I think tanking is sort of easy by comparison. Tanks get a lot of hate because it's easy to hate on both healers and tanks, but I think healing is I hold that in highest regard. You're keeping the entire group alive. It is the backbone of a good team, is a good healer. Some tanks are just meat shields, and I say that with respect. Like, it's a thankless job, but I like doing it, and I could never imagine healing. I did the healing mage tower challenge, and it sketched just the hell out of me, man. For everybody to rely on you, you're the reason no one's wiping. It's crazy to me. It's too frightening. I can't handle that kind of pressure. But some people love it. I mean, and thank goodness for that, because nothing like a good healer. I'm always so enamored by the talent of someone that's really good at healing. They make it look so easy, and it's like, I would be in absolute disarray. With that said, though, I think it would be fun to try to heal with time walking, because it's so easy. You almost don't need a healer for this, so it would be a good way to sort of get my feet wet. Literally, the only time I've ever healed was for the mage tower, and I played my shaman, and I didn't even know what I was doing, but through trial and error, things started to click. And I probably still am not optimized very well in regards to like what abilities to use when, but I have a general idea, and I like that it feels very fluid compared to druids, which feel not clunky. It's just druids, it seems like you have to heal ahead of time before they need healing because it's dots, and shamans feel like you heal on a need basis and AoE healing, it seems like, versus like holy, I guess both holy paladins and priests, I think, are a little bit more, you really burst one person at a time with some minor throw in AoEs here and there. I think that's the sketchiest for me, just because it seems so much more high pressure. Versus a shaman, you're just sort of like throwing out chain heals the whole time, you're throwing out like AoE heals the whole time. Healing totem catches everyone all at once. Yeah. Plus it looks neat. And there's an added layer of killer healers, and that's when a healer is able to swap in and out of DPS while they're healing. That is insane. And I see it all the time with boomkins, where like a resto druid will like swap into boomkin when like no one really needs healing during a boss fight or something, especially in Mythic Plus. It's like, man, to do that dance, that is crazy. That's crazy talent. It's nuts. I hope outside's not too loud. I'm just getting hot in here, so I figured get a little bit of fresh air, but... $428. Oh, that is a very large upgrade. That is not, but that is very nice. I didn't think I'd get many upgrades in time walking, but I stand corrected. Are we gonna move that off the guy, or 'cause that's, if he starts throwing those balls out, that's gonna knock him. Okay, we got lucky. Cool beans. That's we're not using. That's obnoxious. God, I gotta get rid of these obnoxious mounts. So hard to see. Yeah, that's it. That's what I was afraid of. That's why you gotta do it on the inside to hopefully not get hit. Whew, we got it. Generally, when I tank, I try to pull the ads far away from the guy you have to click, because often the Shadow Bolt stuff will overlap and knock you. Oh, just go, buddy. It's gonna take a second. Come on. Maybe the guy doesn't even know what that is. Get the balls, the Hateful Essence. Hateful Essence sounds like a new name for Twitter. Yeah, let's not say we did. There we go. You don't have to pull him, right? You don't have to pull him. You're gonna pull him anyways. Okay, understood. Understood. For those that may not know, time walking is great for leveling. You almost get a level at time walking, especially on lower level characters. And I think Miss you can do as low as level 35 maybe. So it's worth doing if you have any alts you want to get up. Where's my pet? There we go. I think this is number 3, right? 2 more after this, I think? Yeah, number 3. That was so fast. Just ignore the mechanics, just kill him. Nice job. I wonder if these guys are going to want to queue again. That guy left. Oh, he's back. Anyone want to queue again? Or do we queue again solo? I wonder how many these people leave group and then just queue again anyways, because this was a pretty fast group. So there you are. This guy was to queue again. At least that saves a little bit of time. This guy logging out. Can I teleport out of dungeon without leaving? So we're still in queue. I wonder. Let's see. Yes, we can. Cool. So in the meantime, we'll either kill Indasta, or we will do time walking again. But at least it's 2 birds, 1 stone. Holy moly. My friends, I sent my friends the trailer, or the release, that I have a few friends that play Elden Ring, and most of my friends don't, but there's like 1 or 2, and I sent them the notice yesterday that they're releasing a trailer. And I said, for those of you that are sucker for pain, and he's like, I resent that, but I know it's true. It's true. Like Elden Ring it's a different beast, man, because like it's tough, but it's very rewarding. Are we with the same dude? Oh no, right, he was in our group before. That stinks. Why'd he leave? What? That's a shame. He just joined to leave? Now we got a deserter buff. Oh no. Alright. Dude, he queued us for the wrong one. That's why. Oh man. Okay, don't let them queue anymore. So we'll kill 1 boss and we'll leave. It's still not worth having deserter buff for this. Quick first boss, and they'll replace me. I'm a stupid DPS anyways. It's nothing but nothing. I get why he left, but it's still, I think, faster to quickly kill a first boss, not get deserter buff, and leave. Respectfully, not abandoning the group, like, didn't mean to do this, but and I'm just a DPS anyway, so we're not missing out on anything. Man, that was... My man was not thinking. Let's try the owl this time. Switch it up just because we can. Where's the rest of the group? I guess people thought we're going to the tree boss? I don't know. It's funny because once in a while you'll get a group. Not that this group is that, but once in a while you will get a group for heroic or time walking even, and they'll make it feel like a mythic, like 10. Just because, I don't know, people just aren't healing or DPSing or they're standing and stuff, and it's wild to see because you think it's impossible to make something that simple still feel hard, but it's unbelievably rare. It's not like it's a common occurrence, but once in a while you'll get a group where like you're like, this is a lot tougher than it should be. It's almost like you have to try to do that, it seems, but hey, maybe. I know many times I'm doing something, the cat's throwing up, I have to go AFK for a sec, so maybe that's what it is, you know, I can't assume. Alright. First boss. Oh, there's not really a first boss in here, so whatever boss you want, I suppose. Okay. Oop, get off that. I wonder how hunters are in Mythic Plus. I bet they'd be really easy just because the mobility is crazy on a hunter. Like they can, there's nothing really stops them. Love his hair, man. Look at that. It's awesome hair. Looks cool, that guy. Big fan of green. So after this, we'll quickly hop out, join queue again for time walking, and then we'll maybe wait for Undasta. Well, maybe grab these things, so there you go. It's amazing the experience of Classic or Season of Discovery compared to retail. Like, no one talks in retail, but in Season of Discovery or Classic, there's so much communication by comparison. Okay, so sorry guys, but gonna bounce, but at least I'm only a dumb DPS and it's easy to replace me. And now we don't have Deserter buff, so that's nice. Oh, we still gotta wait 10 minutes, that's painful, dude. Okay, understood. Understood. Well, if we can make it, I feel like Undasta's going to be up in 3 minutes, but I can't get off this damn mount, or this damn flying thing, because I don't see the dismount thing. So assuming we can get to Isle of Giants at a reasonable time, and the pathing is just ridiculous, then we can hopefully still make it for when Undasta is up. Not that I know he'll be up on the hour, but I feel like if there's ever a time that you can predict when he's going to be up, it'll probably be on the hour mark. True. Spam keys. Needs to get better at tank. You want to know how to get better? Play the game rather than sit around. Spam keys. Yeah, he's right though. He's right. I think my character looks like that Johnny Awesome guy. That's it's an NPC because he rides this mount. He's got hair like this, I think. Funny enough. And he might actually be a hunter. Maybe he's a paladin. I think he's a paladin. Look at that. Just made it. Watch it drop on stream. That'd be neat. God, 9 minutes. I may just hop characters. I don't want to wait that long. It's crazy. That's insane. I don't understand why that punish. It's so punishing, but whatever. Probably up in a minute, hopefully. And we'll grab a little bit more coffee so we can put ourselves into an anxiety-induced or a caffeine-induced anxiety attack. It's strange-looking transmog. Hopefully any second. Come on. I love, at least I think they reduced the timer on these guys to be consistent and a lot shorter, I believe, which is a nice quality of life. 'Cause I think it was a much longer timer before. I think the world bosses are now reduced to like 10 or 15 minutes, which is nice. It's easier to farm them at least, and at least if you just miss it, you don't have to wait for like what felt like forever. I mean, it still always feels like an eternity, but by comparison, it's a little bit less. Okay, it's 4 o'clock, right? Come on. Well, it's 3:59 realm time. Maybe that's why. I know the second I tab out, it's gonna pop up. Well, maybe we'll get transmog while we wait. Oh, that's very fancy. How fancy. Gladiator sets. It's okay, I guess. Can someone explain to me, if anyone's watching, what's the difference between these two? Because they look identical to me, so I don't know why there's 2 sets. I didn't understand that. That's very strange. That doesn't look very hunter at all. Shoulder's not bad, but it doesn't look very hunter. This looks more hunter. It's strange that the unrelated, like the whatever gear, the throwaway gear, doesn't have the same class identity. That, like, even that looks more hunter. I don't know, man. Sort of think they dropped the ball a little bit with this tier. The Warlock one's not bad. The Death Knight one's pretty cool, but for hunters, they dropped the ball a little bit. It feels like. This is not bad. This is okay. Crafted is red. Bronze, black. Interesting. Still, like, nothing compares to like some of the older sets. This one's pretty cool, or not this one. This one, not bad. It's pretty sweet. But like, go back to like, that's sick. That's pretty neat. But even go as far back as like classic set. Probably my favorite set in the game for hunters. Pretty cool. That's amazing. That's like amazing as well. That's killer. That's killer. Pretty cool. And they gave you the updated one. Not bad. Yeah, like some of these sets are really iconic. And then there comes a point where we start leaning away from class fantasy just to go like raid themed. And I think that was at the detriment of this always reminded me of a combination of Kano from Mortal Kombat and Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat, because it has a Shao Kahn helm, but it's got the Kano eye. And I didn't know if that was intentional, if someone was like a MK fan and that's why they did this, because it looks like both of them. Like this really, like that's real heavy Shao Kahn vibes. And the one glowing eye where it even like shoots off to the side like that, you cannot tell me you didn't know about Kano when you did that. And like this is like super heavy Shao Kahn vibes. So I wonder if that was, it must be intentional. Someone must have been a fan. I always thought this helm made it look like you have a mustache. And it sort of reminded me of Squidward. Yeah, this is sick. It's very cool. Shoulder, I like bulky shoulders. I don't know why I always like bulky shoulders. Silly. Cannot believe it's taking this long. We're almost 4 minutes in to 4 o'clock. It's got to be like, it's usually at the 5-minute mark, the 10-minute mark, the hour mark. I wonder if this is going to end first or if he's going to spawn first. I'm curious. Bloody tokens. What's that from? I know it's killing people like PvP, I know that much, but I wonder. Oh, there he is. Finally. Drum roll. Mount, mount, mount. No mount. Poop. Okay. The heck, I size it in Dasta. 2 minutes. I guess let's just Hearth. Screw it. I don't know if this guy has a Timeless Isle unlocked. He must. Not Timeless Isle. I'm throwing a Thunder Place, but it's okay. Well, we can queue again in another, like, minute or so. So very, very quickly, gonna just grab a little bit more coffee. So I'm just super crazy in OCD where, like, I need to I just need to rinse my cup every time before I have a new cup of coffee, and I don't know why that is. I even got other people in my life doing it now, and I don't know why, but it's just an OCD thing. I cannot drink, and I can't pour myself another cup of coffee, and this was actually a gift, this thing. It actually keeps the coffee warm for a long time, which is neat. But I just can't do it. I can't drink it without rinsing it first in between, and I don't know why, but it just feels gross otherwise. And that's life with OCD. That's how it goes. But these Yeti things are wild. Like, my friend has always hyped him up how great these Yeti things are, but I never would have invested in it myself. But now that someone gifted it to me, I get it. I get why they're so popular. It keeps it hot, or at least warm, for like what feels like 4 to 6 hours. Okay, let's do again, boys. You know what? While we wait, we'll do Underrot. Underrot will be fun. I think this is Love Potion number 9 by Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. It's fun. It's fun music. Just found out my friend unfortunately is not streaming now. I was gonna hop off shortly if he was going to stream, because I thought he might, but I think he's busy today, so I guess we'll go for a little bit longer now. That's fun. Although I must say it is to my disappointment. Like, as much as it is fun to stream, obviously, and I'd love to stream, but I enjoy supporting him, and he's the one that got me into streaming. So anytime he's gonna stream, like, I want to be there to support him. He's so kind to me. He was so kind to help me. He's of the mentality, which I wish more people were, where, like, if someone's doing something, especially something where it's not a competitive environment, but everybody thinks everything is competitive. And what I mean by that is, like, if you're streaming and your friend's streaming, some people have the mentality of, like, well, they're going to take viewers away from me. Like, we don't even play the same games, but just people are like that, and he's not. He's the opposite of that. When I told him, he was excited to teach me, and I thought that was really neat, because I try to be like that as well. You know, I think there's enough room for everybody to succeed, and not only that, but if you elevate your friends in whatever they're doing, it's probably a greater chance of both of you succeeding, because then you can collaborate, you can play together, you can pull from each other's audiences, regardless of what it is. So I always held him in very high regard, because he's always had a mentality where, like, he's excited to share his knowledge and his passions with those that are also excited to explore them. I think it's certainly a healthier mentality to have versus a feast or famine mentality, which I think is common in almost anything. An example is my brother is an actor, and he has many friends that are actors, and he seems to not. I heard a story once. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are like best friends, and they wrote Good Will Hunting together. I think when they both went to Harvard, and when they would apply for the same job, or audition for the same job, they would think about each other, and they would think about themselves. I hope I get it, but if I don't get it, I hope he gets it more than anyone else, because he's my friend, and if I don't get it, I at least want him to get it. And that's what my brother does with his acting friends. Like, of course he wants the job, but if he doesn't get it, at least if his friend could get it, he'd be just as happy, because you love your friends. You want your friends to succeed. And I think that idea is lost on some people. I'm not going to say a lot, because I don't have numbers to prove that, but I think it's certainly... I got hit by another barrel. I think it's lost on some people, and I don't think it's to the benefit of anyone. I think if you're like constantly fearful, like feast or famine mentality, I think it's just going to make you worse. I think if you collaborate and elevate those around you, rising tide rises all ships, they say. So I think it just works to your benefit if you elevate your friends and those you love around you, because then more opportunities can present themselves. And if your friend gets an opportunity you didn't get, but your friend remembered that you elevated them, they'd probably be the first one to help you with that opportunity or open new doors for you. So it's almost like investing not only in your friends, but investing in your future self as well. And that's just a benefit of being a good person. It's not like you're doing it manipulatively. It's just investing in your friends often potentially bring opportunities, because if your friend does well, of course they want everyone around them to also do well, right? I think it's just a healthier mentality. I think social media is certainly not helped with comparison, but they say to compare is to despair, and I certainly agree with that. That's why I always say the only person you should be in competition with is yourself, because even if you do the same profession as someone else, you're not the same thing. You have two different things to offer. So I always like that. To compare is to despair. I've read a lot of books on Buddhism and psychology, and in an attempt to one day hopefully be so stoic that I'm no longer bothered by anxiety, which is not true. But Judson Brewer, who's a author of a book called Unwinding Anxiety, which if anybody has anxiety or depression, whatever you want to call it, OCD, depression, any of those issues, Unwinding Anxiety is probably one of the best books I've ever read. And Dr. Judson Brewer says in the book, which I never forgot, you can't logic your way out of anxiety. And it sounds so obvious, but it's brilliant, because I try to do it all the time. I think many of us do. We're like, well, it doesn't make any sense. Statistically, there's nothing to worry about getting on an airplane. But as he says, I think he might be a neuroscientist as well as a psychologist. He says the part of your brain that's fearful, the part of your brain that feels anxiety, is not the rational part of your brain. It's a different part of the brain. So to apply rationality or trying to logic your way out of anxiety will never work, because you're not attacking that part of the brain. It's a different part of the brain. So it's why it doesn't work. I mean, you could try, but it doesn't do anything. And that was... I think we always look for the magic answer. Like, well, what can help me? But sometimes knowing what can't help is also very helpful, because it's sort of the scientific method. Well, I'm just going to stop doing that then, because if it's not beneficial, then I'm just going to stop spinning my wheels, and we could try to do something else that may be more beneficial. And that's partially what the scientific method is. It's not what do we think it is do we think it's this? Let's try to prove that theory correct. If that theory is not correct, let's try to prove another theory. And the more options you run out of, it starts to narrow things down, and that's how you come to a conclusion. You don't assume the conclusion. You try to prove your theory. And if no matter what you do, you still cannot prove it, then you run out of options, and maybe the theory is incorrect. So then you try another theory, and you keep doing that until you run out of options. And that's the most realistic way to come to a conclusion in the scientific method. Versus, I think a lot of people they have an idea and then they try to prove it. You want to try to disprove it. That's what I meant to say. You try to disprove it as many ways as possible. And if you can't disprove it and you run out of ways to disprove your theory, then maybe your theory is correct. My apologies. Just anxious brain. As soon as you believe something to be true, you want to try to poke as many holes in it as possible, because doing so will further solidify your theory. If in spite of trying to poke holes at it, it still stands. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, one more after this. Eventually, I'd love to play like replay like Elden Ring and stuff. I think I need a capture card for that, but because it's on my PlayStation. But it'd be fun. I love Elden Ring, especially with the DLC coming out. It'd be a lot of fun. Here we go. Nukem. Isn't that thing supposed to come out where we jump? It's taking a while, huh? There it is. There it is. Ooh, I can't see. That thing was in the way. There we go. Done. Nice job. Are we going to queue again? Please queue, though, for time walking. Nope. Alright, we'll just leave. Just don't want to take a chance at the guy unfortunately queuing for something else, like we did that last time. We had to leave the heroic and then wait 10 minutes. It's probably just safer to leave and re-queue. In the meantime, we will do our last, or we'll do Underrot while we wait. I think the song's, is Tijuana Taxi, maybe? I think that's what this is. Okay. Set to Mythic. I run this like not that often, but it's a cool mount, never had it, so I figured once in a while pop in here, quickly bang it out, see if the mount will drop. I do enjoy mount farming, it is fun. Especially like when it's not, I mean Siege finally freaking dropped, but holy moly, before they added a bypass to go right to Garrosh, that was painful every week. That was out of control how long that took every week. And I still did it for a while, but eventually I took a break because it's just exhausting to have to do that all the time. So I'm glad you can port to him now. Oh, that is fast. Alright, we'll have to clear these ads again probably, because unless we're fast enough, I feel like they'll respawn. Unless we can quickly kill the boss. Can we quickly kill the boss before... It's gonna pop, it's gonna pop, it's gonna pop. Kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. Come on, pet, get there faster, you idiot. Oh, yes, we did it. So it should be dead. The ads should be dead when we pop back in here now, which is nice. Okay, now you die. Good. Okay. Very good. Oh, and they missed it anyways. We're not going to get to the second one before the queue pops, I bet, but at least we got to the first one, so we wanted to kill the ads again. I still have my Ravage Seed Pod from Mage Tower. Like, I don't need it. I don't need to run it again, but I just feel like if I give it up, I'm going to need it at some point at a later date. That hoarder mentality. I actually have a neat idea for tomorrow if we stream, but we'll save that for tomorrow just in case we don't do it. But otherwise, hopefully we can. Maybe a neat idea, a little bit different, not WoW. So this is a cool mount. I really like this one. Very unique looking, and even when you're using it, it's the animation they gave it, or whatever you want to call it. It feels like you're like slithering. It's interesting how they did that. How they could make it appear like not just the way it looks, but like there's a. This is an oxymoron. There's like a virtual tactile feel where it appears like you're slithering. It feels like you're slithering as you're controlling the mount, versus like other mounts make it feel like they're running. I don't know how they did that, or maybe I'm just crazy, but it certainly does feel different. Versus this one feels a little like bouncy, and maybe it's the camera, I don't know, but or again maybe it's just in my head. But I always thought Raptors feel a little bouncy when they run. The cats or the horses like feel gallopy, like they're galloping. I don't know. Maybe it's probably all in my head, but they did a really good job with some of these mounts. They do feel different because like it's all the same, more or less, like speed and stuff. It should just be visuals, but it does. It's a different experience. I wish they would add a snake mount though. I know it doesn't have legs, but like just it'd be neat. It'd be a cool idea. Like just you'd be low to the ground, you'd slither. I think that'd be cool. Okay, let's see if one drops. Here we go. Oh, I lost my pets again every time. Oh, we got heroism, that's fun. I'm not gonna use it for this, that's silly. Okay. Okay, next one. The last one? One more? One more. There you go. Sporely alive. Damn, when I saw the extra drop, I thought that was going to be the mount. Holy moly. Okay, at least we got the dungeon. And then we were outie like an R8. What is this? Oh, a little fist weapon. Well, this is gonna be a fast group, boys. Right. I know I've only played WoW so far, but I have a few games lined up as well that'd be fun to play. Jedi Survivors I have. Honestly, I'm part of like my friends invited me to a Discord where they have a bot that just shouts out whenever a game goes free or really cheap. And I was able to snag quite a few neat games. I think the latest one I grabbed was Dead Island or something, or it was like one of the Dead Islands. I've never played any of them, but I checked it out, and I'm a big fan of like horror, and it was free. And I'm like, this looks like a full game for free. It's crazy. So I think that would be fun to play on stream one time. Is this dude gonna run past this? Which is fine, but like people usually are gonna pull those ads. Okay, he stunned him though, right? So we're gonna have to fight him. You're just gonna ignore him? Like, what are you doing, buddy? There you go. There you go. I know people are so quick to run. It's like just takes a second to kill him though, and you gotta pull him out of that because I can't attack him. Just like takes like a second to kill him. Just knock him out and then move on. Then you don't have to be stuck in combat. There you go. Good stuff. Where is he? Oh, okay, let's try to run. See if we can. See if we can make it. I think you could jump too if he's going to slam into it to avoid the stun. All right. I've been reading about like I'm always trying to do this, like a hypochondriac. That's why I call this episode trauma dumping. But I'm always reading about like optimization and listening to guys like Andrew Huberman and Rhonda Patrick of trying to just not cut corners, but try to optimize health realistically. Not taking like supplements or blood work every week, but just like I'm like, oh, like I heard like this is good for you, so we'll try to include that in the diet. And the latest like thing, which I guess is common knowledge for a lot of people, is like walnuts. How crazy good walnuts are for you, for your brain health, for sleep, for all kinds of stuff. Reduces cancer and helps with blood pressure and stuff like that. It's nuts. But I didn't know. Supposedly it helps. Like there's like a lot of cognitive benefits to almonds or walnuts rather, where like they've done studies where oh my god, did they pull them? No, holy Christ, that would have been a problem. Okay, a lot of cognitive benefits where that guy's name is Harambe. I just realized that walnuts supposedly help with like depression and anxiety. It improves gut biome, which would make sense that it maybe helps with stuff like that, because if you have an improved gut biome, a healthier gut biome, it should also help with like your mindset and your mood. A lot of people that suffer from some of these conditions feel drastic improvements as they improve their gut biome, because serotonin is created in the stomach, and that's why they say diet is so important in regards to mental health, because it can actually improve cognitive function as well as the state of well-being. So trying to include walnuts now in the diet, and I mean they're alright, but I mean I try to look at food like medicine. Like, you know, it's not always about what you like. It's just like, is this beneficial? Then just do it. And that's from someone who's got just a god awful diet. That was so fast, dude. Thank goodness, because this fight stinks. And I think since this patch they fixed this, because this fight was always bugged. Oh my goodness. Thank you for watching, my friend. I'm disappointed to see you're not streaming, but I look forward to it Friday. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, dude. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy Miss Pandaria. Thank you for helping me with the setup, man. It's a blast. It really is. I'm having a lot of fun. I was honestly, if you're still here, so yeah. I was only going to stream until you came on, and then I saw you said you're not streaming, so I'm like, all right, so I'll keep going. But I was planning on hopping off like shortly before you went on to support you. But I look forward to Friday's stream. Your stream's always a lot of fun. That's what inspired me to want to do it. Like how much fun it looks like you were having, and when I would join you, it was fun. It was a blast. Another big upgrade. Holy moly. Yeah, but I mean, was it Miss Pandaria? You and that's sick, man. Your Boulder Gate streams are my favorite. It's such a fun game, and that's one that I have to do on stream for sure. And it's amazing you can play the game so many times and have so many different playthroughs. Yeah, but I think was it Miss Pandaria that you were playing with Kel'Thuzar, and you guys were like going so hard. You guys leveled so fast. You like speed ran it. How fast you guys leveled. It was nuts. I was looking at your clips like yesterday, I think, and I saw that you saved the leap where I almost killed myself jumping out of the building, and I like leapt halfway across the map. It's like, of course that's there. Oh yeah. It's a good clip though. Your reaction was spot on. I think it was like everyone else's reaction. Like, what the hell just happened? Now the dude wants to queue again. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry, buddy. This whole time. Mop has been mean. Yeah, that was wild. Wow, you were a top raider? That's nuts, dude. I remember you guys went really hard leveling. I couldn't believe how fast, first off, how much time you guys dedicated and how fast you did it. It was nuts. That was the first time I learned about, I guess you could say, min-maxing, because you guys were crazy hyper efficient. Yeah, that's wild. I know. I feel like Kel'Thuzar asked this a trillion times. Have you ever considered WoW again? That's insane. Were you playing a Disc Priest at the time? Throne of Thunder was hard, man. Disc Shadow. Wow. That's awesome, man. I've never played a priest, but Shadow looks sick. All right, let's Hearth, see what we get. Shadow seems pretty strong right now as well. That's reasonable. WoW's a huge time sink. I will agree with that. Yeah, I definitely play more than I play anything else. Um, this weekend though, I'm alone for the weekend, so I was hoping to deep dive into I have a little more free time coming up into Baldur's Gate because I made a character. Like I already played it, and I play on and off, but I feel like that's like a game where you sort of have to play pretty consistently, at least for me, to maintain the storyline. Otherwise, I sort of lose what's happening. So when I play it, I sort of want to binge it. So I'm like really invested in the story, and I don't take a break from it. And I'm hoping I can start that this weekend, because then as the week goes, as the week ahead, I have a little bit more free time as well. Just try to sort of, I'm not gonna beat the whole game, but at least stick close enough that I won't lose where I was with the story, because there's so many characters and it's crazy. It's like nothing I've ever played, and the game deserves the respect of your full attention, in my opinion. It's when you put in that much effort into a game, the very least we can do is give it our full attention. Yeah, once or twice a week. I agree. It's yeah, it's amazing. Uh, and there's a lot going on. Now something I don't know if this is a spoiler. You're way ahead of me. You beat the game anyways, but for anyone else, if anyone watches this, but I can't tell if it's a good or bad thing to lean into the parasite in your brain because it I know it looks like it's a high risk high reward kind of thing, but I wonder if it's a detriment later as the game goes on because it's slowly eating your brain. It seems. Let's see what we got. Whoa, that's pretty good. That's huge. That's actually like probably best in slot trinket. Holy moly, that's awesome, dude. All right, swap to the next one. Let's level a little bit. Yeah, it's I've never quite played a game quite like Baldur's Gate before. Nothing in this game is good or bad, just has a different impact on the outcome or how different characters perceive you. Interesting. So it's got a lot of replay value in that regard. I really like the warrior. I think because I don't normally play classes like that. I'm always playing like whatever's closest to a warlock or necromancer. So that's why when we were messing around on our game, I played the warrior because it seemed really out of my element, and it was fun to just like hit things with a big stick. And you guys were kind enough to give me that awesome looking sword. So I guess that helps when you look cool. But I was thinking about doing that when on my solo playthrough. You can do some crazy things. Yeah, barbarian. I keep calling it a warrior. See, this is like my WoW influence. Barbarian. It's like Diablo. Right. Yeah, it looks sick. And it's like seems a little bit simpler. I played the druid first, and man, it was like way over my head. But you've explained a lot, and it's a lot to unpack though, especially if I'm not familiar with those kinds of games. But you guys have been very patient as I'm figuring it out, which I appreciate. But I look forward to seeing you play your save because you're quite far and you're like so well versed in it that like to see someone play so late in game at such a high level, it's almost like a different experience. And it doesn't even take anything away from my experience because like I would never play like that. So it's cool to see like how your brain operates when you play these games. That's why I love all your streams, but I really like the Baldur's Gate because everybody has a different playthrough, I guess, because there's so many different things you can do. Big weapons. Fun. Fighter. Interesting. I should go on YouTube. I know there's so many different guides and stuff, like builds and things you can play. But one thing that, I'm sure I said it to you before, but on my druid, I was playing around, and one of the guys at my camp is like, I could try to remove that parasite for you. And he was digging around in your eye, and like digging around, and my character's screaming, and it's like, tell him to stop or keep going. And they just said, let's see if he kills me. Let's just see how far we can push this. And then he removes your eye, and you actually get like arcane, +1 arcane or something, by like allowing him to like like massacre your eye. And I thought that was so brilliant that if you lean into like this chaos, it actually rewarded you for it. That's insane that they thought of stuff like that. Like, that's just, I guess I'm so enamored by that game. I know I don't shut up about it, but it's just, it's so unbelievably creative, and the attention to detail they put into it. Like, it's worth gushing over, because they're just, you could tell it's a project of love. Volo! You remember his name, Volo. That's it. I love how he knew what I was talking about. You're an encyclopedia, man. It's amazing. You have encyclopedic knowledge of all this stuff. Oh man. So where's Shadowlands? Oh, we can't go to. Right, we can't go to. There it is. Okay, good. Can't go to Dragon Isles yet. I guess till 60 or 58 maybe. So on your solo playthrough, what are you Are you the bard? Is that the bard? Oh, we got a demonology hunter, or a demonology warlock. Very nice. Like, they write original music for the game. Like, it's nuts. It's like Tolkien level of depth. Like, he wrote off. I heard, and I don't know how true this is, but I heard that he wrote a language. He wrote the language first, and then after writing the language, he's like, well, I guess I should write a story for this language, and that's when he wrote Lord of the Rings. That's what I heard. I don't know how true that is, but that's just insane. That level of attention to detail is crazy, and that's what this Baldur's Gate feels like. That crazy level of attention to detail. Everyone knows it, but yeah, okay. So I remember watching you that playthrough before, and it's crazy. There's so much original music. It's insane. Do you think this it'll come out with DLC, Baldur's Gate? Not that it needs it, but I mean, it just seems like a lot of games come out with DLC. Bards and rogues seem like fun as well, because it's such a different experience from like traditional classes, I guess, like in Diablo, like Necromancer and Barbarian and Monk. Bard is like, it's crazy to think that you could play as that the whole time, like a non-violent musician. Or chat options. Yeah, it's nuts. I noticed that as well when I was playing the druid. There's like a druid option, and then there's like I don't remember the dragon race's name, but there's an option for the dragon race as well. And I thought that was like, someone somewhere at Larian Studios, I think it is, they must have like that like pin like a detective has, where like there's a cork where it's all connected by like strings, and like it's unbelievable. I cannot imagine what the layout looks like, how every path and how each conversation can lead down a different path, and how they all overlap and then take you to a certain spot in the game, and it's insane. How someone must have kept track of that to make sure it all worked out is crazy. Maybe some exchange interactions, they would do a BG4 instead. That's not bad. I'm okay with that. Wow, BG4, that may take another like 30 years. That's from what I understand. I never played BG1 or 2, but people said it was like a long time coming, BG3. So, and I'm okay with that. Like, take your damn time, have the Rockstar mentality, where like a game comes out every like decade or more, but then it's like super polished when it comes out. I'm okay waiting. I'd rather wait for perfection than like release a half-finished game and then patch it every other week. The XP in here is crazy. Oh, our healer's dead. That's a problem. Okay, I don't have battle res. Okay. Leveled though. Let's see if we survive. Okay, watch the breath. We're stunned. That's a problem. Can we stun? Yeah, we can. Jeez Louise. Took time because of all the... Oh. I see. Holy moly. You also taught me something that's interesting because I didn't think nudity was allowed on Twitch, but you said with these kinds of games it's allowed because it's like expected, it's part of it, and it's just sort of baked into it. So it's I thought that was interesting because there's a lot of games people play where it's not like it's not an emphasis on it, but it's sometimes there. Or games where it's like super gruesome, like Resident Evil, and I'm like, I wonder how people can play this on Twitch without getting banned. But it's cool that Twitch understands the nuance of things like that, and they give a little bit of leeway. Because like, that was my fear. Like I'd love to play it, but I don't want to get like flagged or anything. But you've eased my conscience with that one. Well, so how does Baldur's Gate 3 compare to the other two? I'm sorry if I'm taking your time up. Like you don't have to, just keep sitting here entertaining me. But I'm thrilled to see it today. Ooh, that's stundo. That hurts. I see you messaged me on YouTube too. Oh man, I just noticed that. All right, I gotta get better with chat. Oh, this guy's over here. That's why. Holy man. We got an achievement for that? What achievement is that? Huh. Oh, because you do it fast enough. Right. Right. Okay. Upgrade? Big upgrade. Holy shit. It's like 20 item level upgrade. Going to Exiles was a big thing with that. Right. I see. So I never understood this guy offering to give it. Oh, it's level 70. It's okay. I'm way too far off from that. I never understood Dungeons and Dragons, and I was always curious about it. It looks like a ton of fun. I love that it's so customizable that you're playing with your friends. But Baldur's Gate 3 allowed me to understand the I guess the dynamics of how the game operates. And I understand it's slightly different because they have to do it digitally, but at least I have like a grasp of like how Dungeons and Dragons is now played, and I can see why it's so addictive, especially when you're playing with like your friends in person. Even over Zoom, I think it would be a blast. But it's a very creative game, and I get it. I get why people get like addicted to it. Are we fighting another boss still? We did technically finish. I do think it's brilliant, though, how they were able to make it feel like Dungeons and Dragons, like to a degree, I guess. I never actually played it, but I get the gist now because of the game, and it seems like they did a pretty good job, and from what people tell me, replicating it digitally, which I imagine is quite a difficult task, but it seems like they were pretty close, pretty spot on. I guess we're going to start with this guy first. Oh, don't attack them both. Pick one. Then we switch at 7. Alright, we should switch. Or are we going to kill him? Can we kill him fast? Oh, we're going to have to wait, though, so we may as well. Alright, so kill him, but then we're still going to have to wait with this guy, right? Or can we kill him fast, too, before he... Can I touch a death before he gets to 9 stacks? Touch a death? We did it. Wow, that's crazy, dude. Oh, so now it counts. It's funny how that didn't count as a slot until we killed all 4 bosses, but it counted as finishing the dungeon. before. That's interesting. Oh, the animation voice acting make it feel more immersive. I get it. Interesting. So I didn't know that digital D&D was a thing. That's cool. But voice acting is like crazy. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it in my life. That's something. I don't know if you've ever played Resident Evil, but the games are widely popular. I never really played them. I just knew about them. And when I played Resident Evil for the first time, like maybe 2 years ago, a year ago, I couldn't believe how atrocious both the voice acting, not that it was bad recording quality, but just like they just sort of seemed like they just showed up just for the sake of getting paid. And especially how campy the dialogue was. Like they clearly put no effort into it. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It almost seems like it's part of the series now to have campy dialogue, and people expect it at this point. And I thought that was so silly because the game seems so intense, but then the dialogue is so like unintentionally comical, which I think is now like a staple of the game. That's why they keep doing it. But I thought that was strange, which people like expect now, I guess. But as someone that didn't know going into it, I thought that was a strange thing. Maybe it's not though. Maybe it's just I thought it was campy, but it seems like people are aware that it's sort of campy, the dialogue. I know I don't think you're too big on horror games, but and there's something to be said too for lack of dialogue. Like Elden or not Elden Ring, the other game crushed it with dialogue, Baldur's Gate, but sometimes if you just learn about the world not with what people say, but with you read or what you can learn from just like quest text or just experiencing the game or just exploring, sometimes it adds another layer of mystery and depth to the world that sometimes feels better than if the character's just like telling you the story like here it is. If you sort of have to search it out and put the pieces together yourself, it's a different experience, but it's still just as rewarding. I find like when items have flavor text that explain a little bit of backstory about the zone or a character or something. I think that's neat. Sort of like a puzzle that you slowly put together as you play the game. 6? Holy crap, made it 4. Balancing co-op, that makes sense. Wow, 6 people. So they're way ahead of the game. To do that in 1998, that's crazy. Would that have to be done? I guess you would have like friends over, you'd all play on a computer together, and you would just sort of take turns like picking your stuff, or would you like set it up with like as like a LAN party? Is that what you could do? I guess because it wasn't. I guess. What was it connected? Like, could you connect at that point? I guess Dota was out at that point already. I was not. I was playing consoles still back then, man. Holy moly, I was a youngling. I was 8 years old. Shows my age. Although you're similar in age, only by like a year or two, isn't it? So, were you playing like that back then? Like you were really ahead of the curve. Although you always sort of have been. And in 1998, I think I was still playing like. God, when did N64 come out? Must have been. It was in the 90s. I remember N64. I was playing like Banjo-Kazooie and stuff. Like PlayStation. I remember PlayStation 1 was like when Dreamcast came out, it was out of control. Those graphics. Soul Calibur was like nuts. I remember. It's crazy to think how far we've come over the years. Especially with like VR and stuff, it's insane. Doing multiplayer, we are talking the same time frame of OG Battle.net server connections. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so like that's crazy. That's nuts. All right, I'll do this after one combat. I can't do this right now. It's wild how. But this is what happens with technology. It's like tech comes out, it starts moving like faster and faster, it seems. I remember when Warcraft 3 was out, and it was so revolutionary, and like BattleNet was a thing, and you could connect and play like online, and it was insane. And it was like way over my head at the time. And when Xbox Live came out, that was insane. I remember joining Xbox Live, and it was just chaos. I mean, I was way too young to be on Xbox Live at that point, considering what was being said. But that's the generation we were raised in. Maybe that's why we're the way we are. Oh boy, almost pulled. Yeah, Xbox Live was the Wild West when it first came out. Okay. Thank you. It was wonderful talking to you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I can't wait for Friday. Enjoy dinner. I should actually probably after this call it myself because I'm gonna have to start cooking as well for when the missus gets home, or she's going to be upset. Not actually, but I did promise that I would do it today, so I should do the responsible thing and be an adult as well. So we'll finish this dungeon and then I think we'll call it for today, but tomorrow I have something up my sleeve if anyone watches the VOD up to this point, and I look forward to it. It's not WoW related, but it'll be a little surprise, but it should be fun. He has the best emotes. I love that. I love that little penguin so much. It's adorable. I have it on a mug, and it's very cute. I mean, a lot of people have, like, in my opinion, like mid emotes, but he crushed it. I don't know. He's definitely told me where it came from, the penguin and the seal, but I don't remember because my memory stinks. But it's a lot of emotes look alike in my opinion, but his like stands out. I don't know anything else that looks like it. It's unique. It's unique to his brand, and I think he crushed it. It's cute. It's fun. It still has that gamer feel. Yeah, I love it. The idea of emotes are fun. I have no expectations with anything with this stream, but it would be cool just to have the ability to unlock emotes just because it's a fun little way of creative expression. It's a shame that you have to get to like a certain threshold before you can do that, but hopefully one day we can get there just for no other reason other than just having fun with the idea of emotes, because emotes are what make Twitch fun. Or maybe they'll lower the threshold and they'll say, you know what, like guys just want to do your thing, then just upload your own emotes. I think like websites like TikTok, I think right off the bat, I thought you could upload emotes. Once you can go live, I think you can start adding emotes. So I don't know. XP in here is crazy, dude. That's why time walkers are so fun. I'm so indecisive in regards to like, well, today I feel like playing a gnome, today I feel like playing an undead, today I feel like playing a worgen. So I level the same class like once or twice or 3 times. That way, like if today I feel like playing this, I have that. Today if I feel like playing this, I have that. And gearing is so easy. Like I don't feel like I'm missing out. Like, well, this guy's the most geared. It's like, well, I could catch up like fairly fast on any of my alts. So that's why, like, I leveled my highest level character right now is a High Mountain Tauren Druid. And before that, my main was always other than my Warlock, my main was always my Night Elf Druid. But this expansion, I said, screw it, let's try Tauren. They look cool. So we leveled the High Mountain, and then I saw a Worgen one day in Transmog, and I'm like, man, Worgen Druid sounds sick. So we leveled the Worgen Druids. Now I got a Worgen Druid, I got a Night Elf Druid, I got a High Mountain Druid. And the Worgen and the Worgen and the Night Elves aren't that geared. The Night Elf, who was my like original Druid main, isn't even 70, but the Worgen is. But if I were to like put my mind to it, let's say we like run let's say I tank like 5 time walking tomorrow, and I do the Everbloom, or not the Everbloom, the tree weekly thing, whatever it's called, Super Bloom, the Super Bloom. You get gear thrown at you. You could pop into a few mythics as a tank, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and like you're pretty much there already, which it feels good because then you don't feel limited with like, ah, well, if I make an alt, gear's hard to come by. You can just sort of just pop on to whoever you want, play whatever you want based on visuals, and not feel like you're really lagging behind. That could also be because I'm a little bit more casual than some of my friends who, like Kelthasar, who we were talking about before, is just crazy, and he's just pumping such high keys. Like, maybe if I was doing that, maybe I'd be like, well, I don't know if I want to do those keys all over again because they're so hard. But thankfully, I'm not as brave as he is, so it's easier for me to swap from tunes without missing too much. But I could understand why maybe if you're that like dedicated, why it might be a little bit harder to switch, because if you're lucky enough to get something to drop on like a 21, which sounds like hell on earth, you may not want to run that again for the trinket to drop again on another character. I get that. But, I mean, what it seems like for players like him, which are like, who I would say are like the elite of players, like they really push the envelope as far as like skill goes. It's amazing what they're capable of. It seems like the chase is more of the game than the end game itself. Like the fun is in trying to get the gear, not even getting the gear, because and he can attest to this, and he does this every time. He'll want something really bad on a character, he'll finally get it, and then he'll just try to get it on an alt, or level up another alt, and get this alt geared, and then get another alt geared. And I think it's fascinating because you think the end game is to get the gear, and it is like to a degree, but I think it's fascinating. They love the chase, they love the challenge, they love like, well, let's see if we can do it again on a warlock now. Well, let's see if we can do it again on a paladin now. And I have huge respect for that, because to be able to play at such an elite level on so many separate classes, it's awesome. I mean, good for him. Like, that's why I say, like, people like him are like exceptional at this game, because few people can play at that high level on their main class, let alone switch it up 2, 3, 4 times an X-Pack, every X-Pack, with new dungeons and new Mythic Plus mechanics, and it's crazy to see. I mean, he was playing his like alt, which was a Ret Paladin, and he was helping carry us in all the way to Mythic 8, which I've never done, and he made it like easy peasy. He was explaining to me what to do on the tank. He's like, just tank him here, do this, and I never did it, and it made me look so flawless that when we finished, a dude messaged me after and said, hey, you did a really good job tanking, you think I can add you, so maybe we can start making Mythic groups together. Which I feel like would not have happened had he not been in Discord with me, being like, tank him here because it's easier when he fears, kite him this way. Like, he taught me all these tricks that I never would have considered. And it's just how his brain operates. Like, he's playing 4D chess. We're all playing checkers. He's playing 4D chess. And I always love the opportunity to play with him, because I always learn something, and it's fascinating. It's just a different mentality of player. It's like such a high level. It's awesome to see. Like when you see athletes, I guess, like, you know, they see the game different, and it's really cool to be able to experience that, especially play with it, because it's almost like a different game when your mind works like that. You're thinking so many steps ahead, and you're cutting corners for like for mechanics to make it like easier, and like for oh shit moments, sort of like pads oh shit moments, because you're not just doing the mechanic, but you're doing it in a methodical way, that if shit hits the fan, you're covered, because you thought about, like, well, the worst case, at least this happens instead of this traumatic thing which happens every other time when you do it normally. And I think that only comes from like crazy repetition and min-maxing and stuff like that, so it's certainly fascinating to see. Oh, nice, we got it. Because in the Michael Jordan documentary, he was like that, like Michael Jordan, in the sense that he saw the game. They're all playing the same game. They're all playing basketball, but he sees the game differently, and that gave him a competitive edge. And I think that's tremendously fascinating, that so many people can all do the same thing but have different experiences just because of the way their brains operate. I guess it's what makes humans so unique and interesting. And like Unfit Chaos was saying, like when he was playing with one of our other friends, in Miss Pandaria, and they were like the top in the guild, like first ones to do Throne of Thunder. That's crazy to push like that, like to be the first one to do it. You're like super optimizing, not just your talents, not just your gear, but your understanding of the fights. Every time you're wiping, you're not just not knowing why you wiped. You're like, well, where did we fail? How do we fix this for next time? And how do we keep moving the needle forward every single time? No wipe is a waste, which is like, it's awesome to see, I guess, because a lot of the time I play more casual, so to see someone play at such a high level is it's a different experience for sure. Okay, that should have been our last one. It is 5. I feel like we should call it just because I should be an adult and do adult things. But that was really fun that he stopped by, and I look forward to streaming again, like tomorrow. I think I should be able to do this again tomorrow. So thank you, anybody that stopped by, that watched for a minute. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And I hope to see some of you guys, if you guys watch the VOD, maybe hop in next time. I don't really have an actual schedule yet. Working on it. Just whenever I have free time, I hop on. But until next time, I appreciate your patience. I figure out the streaming thing. It's been a lot of fun. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully we will see you guys Thursday, which is tomorrow. Have a nice night, guys.